Beloved chosen one, listen closely. Heaven pauses everything around you because this is not a random moment. This message was marked for you before you took your first breath, long before time began, before your parents met, before the stars were even named. Your name was already written in the scrolls of eternity. You were not born by accident, you were sent on assignment. The reason you've always felt different, misunderstood, or out of place is because you were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out, to carry light where darkness once ruled, to restore what was lost and awaken what has slept for generations. There have been nights you asked, why me nights, when pain wrapped around your soul like a cloak and silence felt heavier than stone. But heaven whispers now you were chosen because you could bear the weight that others could not. You carry resilience that was forged in tears and sharpened by waiting. Even your loneliness had purpose. It separated you so that when your time came, there would be no confusion about who made you rise. You have walked through seasons that others could not survive. Not because you were unlucky, but because you were being trained in the secret chambers of heaven. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. When you felt unseen, heaven was watching. When you felt unheard, heaven was taking notes. You were being measured not by human standards, but by eternal purpose. And now, the time has come for that purpose to be revealed. This is why your spirit has been restless lately. This is why the same message seems to find you again and again. No matter how far you run, heaven is reminding you it's time to awaken. The waiting season is ending, and the revealing season has begun. You see, many are called, but few are chosen. To be chosen means you were not selected for comfort, but for consequence. You carry influence that will shake nations, but it will not come through ease, it will come through endurance. That is why you've endured storms that others couldn't survive. The intensity of your warfare reveals the magnitude of your calling. The greater the pressure, the purer the oil that flows from your life. You've been crushed, not to be destroyed, but to release fragrance that will shift atmospheres. There were times you asked, why can't I be like them? Why do I feel everything so deeply? The answer is simple: because you are not them. You are the chosen one. Sensitivity in you is not weakness, it's divine radar. You perceive what others overlook because you are tuned to heaven's frequency. You are not broken, you are built differently. Your calling carries weight, and heaven does not waste weight. Every tear has become currency in the Spirit. Every time you forgave when you could have fought back, heaven recorded it. Every time you prayed instead of cursing, heaven advanced your rank. You may not see it yet, but you have been ascending quietly. There's a reason people sense peace or conviction when you walk into the room. You don't carry ordinary energy, you carry the presence of the living God. Chosen one. The world will try to distract you, to dull your awareness, to convince you that you are just another face in the crowd. But remember this truth: your fingerprints are prophetic. No one else can leave the mark you were designed to leave. Every part of your life, your gifts, your voice, your pain has been intentionally woven into a tapestry that heaven intends to display. You are the proof that God still writes miracles into flesh. Now hear this clearly: it is time to stop doubting your worth. It is time to step out of fear and into obedience. Your calling is not waiting for perfect conditions, it is waiting for your yes. Heaven is not asking for your ability, only your availability. The same voice that called Jeremiah, Moses, and Esther now calls your name. You are being summoned by destiny itself. The fire that's been stirring in your chest is not anxiety, it's activation. Pause and breathe this in. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen. The trials were not meant to bury you, they were meant to baptize you in strength. And now, God's timing has intersected with your readiness. The heavens lean close to see what you will do with this moment. Will you shrink back in fear? Or will you rise into the purpose that was written for you since the beginning of time? If this word has pierced your heart, if something deep inside of you recognizes that this is your divine confirmation, don't scroll away. Lift your heart in agreement. Like, share, and comment to mark your yes in the Spirit. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to stay connected to this flow of divine messages. Let heaven see your response not just in silence, but in action. Type 111 inches, the comments right now, as a prophetic sign that you are awakening to who you truly are, one of God's chosen ones. There is something sacred about your silent years. Chosen one. Those seasons where nothing seemed to move, where prayers hung in the air without an echo, were not wasted. They were wombs of divine formation. You wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. But what you called delay was actually design. The hidden years are never empty. They are heaven's workshop. In those quiet chambers, your character was being carved, your motives purified, your faith tempered by fire. You see, God does his finest work in secret. Seeds grow underground before they ever touch the sunlight. So it was with you. Every unseen sacrifice, every tear that never met a shoulder, every act of obedience done in obscurity, all of it was writing your testimony in invisible ink. When the right time comes, what was once buried will burst forth, and the world will see the fruit of what you endured when no one was watching. There were days you mistook stillness for stagnation. You asked, "Why is nothing changing? Why do I feel forgotten?" But heaven's timing is never rushed. The potter takes his time with vessels meant for honor. You were not overlooked, you were being refined until you could carry glory without cracking under its weight. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It is often in those hidden years that the truest battles take place, the battle between surrender and control, faith and fear, trust and despair. There, in the unseen, God teaches you endurance. He allows delay to expose dependence. He lets loneliness test your loyalty. Because being chosen doesn't mean instant elevation, it means invisible preparation. The greater the destiny, the longer the preparation, the stronger the anointing, the deeper the pruning. Many gave up where you chose to stay. Many walked away when the silence stretched too long. But you remained, even with trembling hands and tired faith. You stayed on your knees when it felt like nothing was listening. That steadfastness did not go unnoticed. Heaven watched you choose faith over frustration again and again. And though the world saw nothing, heaven saw everything. Now, as light begins to break through the cracks, you'll realize why it all had to happen this way. What seemed like delay was really alignment. What looked like silence was actually a symphony being tuned for your arrival. You are stepping into what you once prayed for. But you are not the same person who began the journey. You are wiser now, softer, yet stronger, humble, yet bold. You have learned that silence can be sacred and that stillness can be strength. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to James, chapter 1, verse 4, "And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." That verse isn't just a sentence, it's a revelation. Endurance isn't about survival, it's about transformation. It shapes the soul to hold what blessing would otherwise crush. You had to wait because heaven was making you whole. The fragments of your past, the shattered pieces of your heart, were being reassembled into something that could reflect divine glory. You weren't being delayed, you were being developed. The hidden years stripped away illusions and idols. You learned that your value was not in applause but in alignment. You learned to stand without validation, to move without confirmation, to love without recognition. Those lessons were not wasted. They are the foundation upon which your future now rests. Even when you questioned God, He was closer than your breath. Even when you thought the dream was dead, He was guarding it, waiting for the perfect moment. Every moment of silence was a conversation in heaven about you. And now, the same hands that held you in hiding are preparing to unveil you in glory. The quiet shaped you into a warrior who can be trusted with revelation. It birthed humility in you that fame cannot corrupt, and strength in you that storms cannot steal. The delay gave depth. The stillness gave substance. The secret seasons were sacred schooling for the days to come. So, do not despise your hidden years. They are the fingerprints of a careful God. They prove that your story is not random, it's authored. You are being moved, not by luck or chance, but by divine precision. The very things you once thought disqualified, you are becoming the very reasons you'll be qualified to speak life into others. Chosen one. The silence taught you the sound of heaven. You have learned to recognize peace over noise, purpose over pace, destiny over distraction. When your time to rise comes, and it is coming, you will move with grace, not greed. You will shine with humility, not pride, because those hidden years taught you the difference between being seen by man and being known by God. The years that seemed lost will return as harvest. The tears that watered your prayers will bloom into testimonies. You were hidden not to be forgotten, but to be preserved. Heaven was not ignoring you, it was incubating you. And now, the appointed time draws near. Stay steady. The soil that once covered you is now giving way to new life. The world will soon see what heaven has been preparing all along. The call of God is never light. Chosen one. It presses on the deepest places of your soul and demands that everything false be stripped away. To be chosen means to carry weight, holy weight, eternal weight. You have felt it lately, haven't you? That restlessness, that pull, that holy tension between where you are and where you know you're meant to be. It's as if heaven is whispering, there is more. And every part of your spirit aches to answer. But answering that call always costs something. The call of destiny will ask for your comfort, your control, and sometimes even your company. You can't carry the old you into the next chapter. The voice of purpose demands that you lay down everything that doesn't align. Many begin this journey with enthusiasm, but few stay when the cost becomes real. Yet here you are still standing, still believing, still searching for the sound of His voice. That alone reveals your heart has already been chosen. You've begun to feel the friction between your will and heaven's will. You've noticed how things that once satisfied no longer do. Relationships that once fit now feel foreign. You're not being difficult, you're being transformed. What once entertained you now feels empty because your spirit is outgrowing your surroundings. That's what divine elevation feels like. It's the ache of expansion. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Luke. Chapter 9, verse 23. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. Those are not words of comfort, they are words of commitment. To follow means to surrender your map for His mystery, your plans for His purpose. It means trusting when the path grows narrow and the crowd grows thin. You must understand this: the call of God is not convenient, it is consuming. But within that surrender lies a freedom the world can't comprehend. Every great destiny begins with a decision to obey, even when it hurts. You will lose some people. You will be misunderstood. You will be tempted to look back at what you've left behind. But once heaven marks you, nothing ordinary can satisfy you again. The same fire that called prophets, apostles, and kings now burns inside your chest. That is why you can't find peace in complacency. It's because you were never meant for it. Do not mistake the weight of the call for punishment. It is proof that heaven trusts you. God does not invest His voice in the careless. He speaks to those willing to carry His heart. Every yes you give carves new capacity into your spirit. Every no to distraction strengthens your discernment. You are not being crushed, you are being calibrated. There will be moments you feel torn between obedience and comfort. The call will not always make sense. Sometimes it will pull you into wilderness before it leads you into promise. But the wilderness is where the noise fades and the whisper becomes clear. It's where obedience becomes instinct and trust becomes oxygen. You must learn to love that place, the space between calling and completion, because that's where character is born. The weight of the call is heavy because what's inside you is holy. You're not just being prepared to live differently, you're being prepared to lead differently. There are destinies tied to your obedience. People waiting on the other side of your surrender. When you rise, others will rise through you. That is the gravity of being chosen. You might feel unqualified. You might look at your flaws and wonder how someone like you could carry something so sacred. But remember, heaven never calls the perfect, it perfects the called. God uses weakness to display strength, brokenness to release glory, and humility to crown kings. You are not too late. You are not too flawed. You are exactly who heaven chose for this hour. So, when you feel the pressure increasing, don't run from it. Let it refine you. Let it push you to your knees. Because that's where power is born. The cost is great, but the reward is greater. The same fire that tests you will one day testify of you. Chosen one. Heaven is waiting for your full yes, not a hesitant one, not a partial one, but the kind that echoes through eternity. You've come too far to stop here. The weight you feel is not meant to break you. It's meant to birth something divine. If this resonates in your spirit, if you feel the undeniable pull of heaven calling your name, let your heart respond right now. Type "I will follow" in the comments below, 3 words that mark a covenant between you and your calling. Do not take them lightly. When you write them, you're not just typing letters, you are declaring alignment with heaven's design for your life. You're saying yes to the unknown, yes to transformation, yes to purpose. Heaven hears, and all of creation bears witness. You were never meant to live small. The call upon your life demands courage, surrender, and unwavering faith. And as you step into it, you'll realize the weight was never meant to crush you, it was meant to crown you. When the world turns against you, chosen one, it can feel like the end of everything you've known. The same faces that once celebrated you may turn cold. Words that once built you up now cut deep. The warmth of belonging fades, replaced by the chill of isolation. But what you must understand is this rejection is not the enemy of destiny, it is its escort. God often allows separation before elevation, because not everyone can survive the altitude you are called to rise into. There are seasons when heaven hides you from those who cannot handle your anointing. You will feel misunderstood, even by those you love most. You will explain your heart only to have it twisted, your intentions questioned, your motives doubted. But do not let bitterness take root. Isolation is not abandonment, it is insulation. Heaven places you in solitude to strengthen the voice within you so that, when the crowd roars against you, you will still hear the whisper of God clearly. There were moments you thought you did something wrong. You replayed every word, every action, trying to understand why people withdrew, why doors closed without warning. But beloved, it wasn't punishment, it was protection. There were conversations that could have corrupted your spirit, alliances that would have diluted your focus, and opportunities that would have distracted you from your true assignment. Heaven saw what you couldn't, and mercy moved you away before destruction could reach you. Do not curse what was sent to bless you. The pain of separation is often the doorway to revelation. The loneliness that drove you to tears also drove you to prayer. The absence of people forced the presence of God to become your anchor. You learned how to be held by invisible hands, how to hear truth without noise, how to find peace in silence. These are not lessons of comfort, they are lessons of kings. The world will not always understand the way heaven promotes. God doesn't lift you in public until you have been buried in private. Just as Joseph was sold by his brothers before becoming ruler, your betrayal may be the very transportation to your destiny. Pain is often the chariot of purpose. Those who pushed you away did not realize they were positioning you closer to promise. What they meant for harm, heaven meant for good. The voice of truth still resounds as it did centuries ago. The apostle records in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 18, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." That is the heart of the journey. To follow the light means to offend the darkness. The purer your purpose, the sharper the resistance. The more you reflect heaven, the more the world recoils. You must not take it personally. The hatred you feel is not against you, it's against the one who lives in you. When you walk with divine authority, darkness will always recognize you before people do. So, when rejection visits your door, do not fight it. Open the door, bow your head, and let it pass through you. It is clearing the path. Every person who left made room for alignment. Every ending is a sacred beginning in disguise. The pruning hurts, but only for a moment. The fruit it produces will last a lifetime. You are not being punished, you are being purified. The loneliness that haunts you now will become the testimony that heals others later. You are learning how to stand alone with heaven and call that enough. That kind of strength cannot be taught in crowds, it is born in caves. Remember, David was anointed in obscurity before he was celebrated in victory. There is a strange peace that follows true separation. After the tears dry and the ache softens, you begin to feel lighter, clearer. You realize that peace is worth more than approval, and purpose weighs more than popularity. Those who were never meant to stay cannot stay, no matter how tightly you hold on. When people walk away, let them. You are not losing what was yours, you are being freed from what wasn't. The ones who left made space for those who will honor your destiny instead of hindering it. The silence they left behind is not emptiness, it's breathing room. It's the sound of heaven resetting your circle. You will find that what remains after rejection is not weakness, but clarity. You'll stop explaining yourself to those who were never meant to understand. You'll stop chasing acceptance and start walking in authority. Chosen one. You are learning one of heaven's hardest lessons. Divine isolation always precedes divine revelation. What feels like exile today will become evidence tomorrow. When your story unfolds, you will look back and thank God for every no, every goodbye, every moment you stood alone and refused to break. Because those were the moments heaven was writing your testimony with invisible ink. And when you finally rise, and you will, those who misunderstood you will see the truth written across your life. They will realize that rejection was never the end of you, it was the making of you. There comes a sacred turning point. Chosen one, the moment when heaven finally breaks the silence. For a long time, you prayed and heard nothing but echoes. You watched others move forward while you stood still, wondering if your voice still reached the throne. But suddenly, it happens. The stillness shifts. The air feels different. The same silence that once felt like abandonment now vibrates with purpose. God begins to speak again, not always in thunder, but sometimes in whispers that pierce your very core. You begin to realize that his voice was never gone. It was simply waiting for you to be quiet enough to hear it. In the world's noise, his whispers were drowned out. But now your heart is finally tuned to heaven's frequency. You hear him not with your ears, but with your spirit. Sometimes it sounds like peace after panic. Sometimes it feels like warmth where there used to be fear. When God speaks, everything inside you straightens. Confusion gives way to clarity. Fear dissolves into faith. The Apostle John records in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." That verse is not just an instruction, it's a reminder of identity. You are his. You were built to recognize his tone, even when the world shouts. It's that still, gentle call that guides you through the fog. The same way a lighthouse slices through a storm, his voice is both a command and a comfort, both a sword and a song. Sometimes his direction comes softly, like a thought that won't leave, a pull you can't explain, or a peace that contradicts your circumstances. Other times, it shakes you awake through loss, through change, through moments that demand decision. The way he speaks may vary, but his goal never changes: to guide you back to the path he wrote for you before time began. You might feel afraid of where he's leading, but remember this: he never calls you where his grace cannot sustain you. Every instruction, no matter how uncomfortable, is a bridge to your next season. The discomfort you feel is not danger, it's growth. Like a seed breaking its shell, you are being stretched toward light. Think of a sailor steering by starlight. Even when the waves roar, even when clouds hide the sky, the stars are still there. The sailor's confidence isn't in what he sees, but in what he knows. You, too, are guided by something constant, the voice that never changes, the word that never lies. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being navigated by divine coordinates. And now that heaven has broken its silence, the call upon you becomes clearer. You can no longer ignore it. You cannot go back to ordinary life when you've heard eternal truth. The same voice that spoke galaxies into existence is now whispering your name. That alone should ignite awe within you. Let his voice become your compass. When he says, wait, it is protection. When he says, go, it is provision. His timing is never off. His leading never cruel. Each command is a step toward fulfillment. The voice that interrupts your confusion is the same voice that called Lazarus from the tomb. What was dead in you will come alive again when he speaks. Chosen one, I want to speak from the heart for a moment. If these words have been water to your thirsty spirit, if you have felt heaven breathing life into your soul as you listen, consider staying connected to this flow, like a river that carries nourishment through dry ground. These messages exist to keep your fire burning. You can help keep that river flowing by sharing this message with someone who feels lost in silence. By liking so it reaches another soul standing on the edge of giving up. By subscribing so you never miss the next wave of divine truth. And if you feel led, even the smallest donation becomes a seed, one that allows this message to continue reaching those who need hope most. Think of it not as giving away, but as planting into eternity. Every seed sown keeps the light burning for someone else. You are part of something bigger than yourself. When you engage, when you share, when you support, you're not just helping a channel, you're joining a movement of light in a world growing darker. Together, we build bridges for the broken. We ignite fire in the forgotten. We become the echo of heaven's call in human form. So, as his voice stirs within you, let it remind you that you were never alone. The shepherd still speaks. The path still waits. The journey still continues. Keep your heart open, your spirit listening, and your faith anchored. The same God who has called you out of silence is calling you forward into purpose. The world needs your obedience, your voice, your light, because when one chosen one listens, an entire generation begins to hear. The signs have been everywhere. Chosen one, they've followed you through sleepless nights, through dreams you couldn't quite explain, through strange moments that felt too precise to be coincidence. You've been seeing patterns, numbers, symbols, encounters that seem to repeat until you pay attention. Heaven has been whispering through circumstances, through people, even through silence. Nothing is random anymore. Everything carries a message. There are moments you look up and feel watched, not in fear, but in a sense of holy awareness, as if heaven itself is trying to get your attention. That is because it is. The world calls it coincidence, heaven calls it confirmation. What looks like repetition in the natural is revelation in the spirit. You are being awakened to divine alignment, drawn toward a frequency that few ever hear clearly. It began subtly, a dream that lingered long after waking, a conversation that echoed something you prayed privately, a verse you kept stumbling across in different places. At first, you dismissed it, but the more it happened, the clearer it became. This isn't random. This is heaven's language, spoken directly into the rhythm of your days. You see, God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he speaks through patterns, through moments that feel almost too familiar. The signs are not meant to scare you, they're meant to prepare you. They remind you that heaven is near, active, and intentional about your life. The prophet recorded it long ago as a truth for generations, as written in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. Some of the signs you've been seeing are not random reminders, they are invitations. Invitations to pray more deeply, to trust more boldly, to prepare your spirit for what's next. Maybe you've noticed numbers following you on clocks, receipts, or pages. Perhaps you keep hearing a phrase in different conversations. Those are not coincidences, they are coordinates. Heaven marks its movements in ways that awaken the attentive and confound the distracted. When your spiritual eyes open, you begin to see that God has been speaking all along. The patterns are heaven's handwriting across your everyday life. And when you finally notice, when your spirit aligns with awareness, something shifts inside you. You begin to realize you are not wandering, you are being guided. The signs come not just to comfort, but to correct. Some are gentle warnings to stay on course. Others are confirmations that you're moving in the right direction. You are learning to read heaven's language, one whisper at a time. You don't need to force understanding. You only need to remain sensitive. The more you acknowledge the signs, the louder they become. There's a reason you're being awakened now. Heaven does not waste revelation on the indifferent. God entrusts signs to those he trusts to respond. The patterns around you are heaven's way of saying, you are ready for more. The dream that repeats itself, the number that keeps appearing, the verse that finds you again and again, they're aligning your heart with your calling. Do not let fear twist what is holy. These signs are not omens, they are affirmations. They are heaven's love notes, written in the language of timing and trust. Every pattern points you toward obedience. Every symbol calls you closer to purpose. The same God who placed the stars in order is arranging details in your life to draw you into destiny. When you notice the divine patterns, pause and thank Him. Gratitude sharpens discernment. The more thankful you become, the more your eyes open to subtle guidance, what others overlook. You begin to recognize as holy what the world calls strange. You will see as sacred. Chosen one. Don't rush this season. Let awareness deepen into discernment. Don't just notice the signs, respond to them. If heaven is calling you to pray, do it. If it's calling you to release something heavy, obey. The signs mean nothing if they don't lead to surrender. Revelation without response becomes noise. Revelation with obedience becomes transformation. Right now, you are standing on the edge of manifestation. You are not just seeing signs, you are being prepared for fulfillment. The very patterns surrounding you are heaven's countdown to destiny. You can feel it, the stirring, the expectancy, the quiet anticipation that something is about to change. And it is. This is your confirmation that heaven sees you, knows you, and is moving on your behalf. What you've been sensing is real. What you've been seeing is divine. This moment has been designed to align your faith with your future. If your spirit recognizes what these words are saying, if you feel that deep inner pull, the kind that cannot be explained, acknowledge it now. Let heaven know you hear and agree. Type 444 inches the comments below. This number represents divine revelation, heavenly order, and the unfolding of promises long prepared for you. When you type it, you are saying, "I see the signs, and I am ready to obey." It's not superstition, it's synchronization, a prophetic act that tells heaven, "I am listening." Sometimes the only way to rebuild is to allow everything that can fall to fall. You've learned this truth in pain. Chosen one. What you thought was destruction was actually divine renovation. God will never let you carry into the future what cannot survive his fire. You asked him to make you stronger. And strength never comes through ease, it comes through breaking. The same hands that bless are the hands that break. Not to destroy, but to reshape. You've been through seasons when life felt like it was crumbling from every side. Plans collapsed. Relationships cracked. Confidence shattered. You prayed for answers, but received silence. Yet now, looking back, you can sense that something sacred was taking place behind the chaos. Heaven was stripping away every false foundation, every identity built on approval, every attachment that diluted your focus. It was mercy disguised as loss. The breaking was painful because it exposed what was fragile. God allowed pressure to reveal where your trust truly rested. Some things had to fail so that your faith could flourish. When everything you leaned on gave way, you discovered that the rock beneath you never moved. That realization that God alone sustains became the cornerstone of your rebirth. You may have wondered why it had to hurt so much. Why love turned to ashes and certainty turned to confusion. But consider this: gold is purified only when melted. Until it faces fire, it carries impurities that cannot be seen. You, too, have been through that refining. The flames were fierce, but they revealed authenticity. What emerged from the ashes is not the same soul that entered the fire. You are clearer now, stronger, free. The writer of wisdom once captured this eternal truth. As recorded in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 11, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Rebuilding after breaking feels strange. It's quiet. It's slow. It's often lonely. The noise that once filled your days is gone, replaced by the sound of your own breathing and the heartbeat of heaven beside it. You begin to rebuild, not with grand gestures, but with simple faith, one prayer, one step, one act of obedience at a time, brick by brick. You lay a foundation made not of pride, but of surrender. The rebuilding season requires trust more than understanding. You will not always see the blueprint. You'll just sense the builder's presence. There will be days when progress feels invisible, but faith assures you something solid is forming beneath the surface. Heaven never rushes restoration. What is reconstructed by divine hands cannot collapse again. As the dust settles, you start to see the outlines of something new emerging, a new version of yourself, lighter and more aligned. You find peace where fear used to live. You forgive where resentment once ruled. You walk differently now, not with arrogance, but with assurance. The fire taught you that survival is not the goal, transformation is. Your breaking was not a sign that God had abandoned you. It was evidence that He trusted you enough to rebuild you His way. He saw potential where you saw ruin. He saw purpose beneath the rubble. What you called the end was the beginning of authenticity. The ashes became the altar. And though some scars remain, they no longer speak of pain, they speak of perseverance. They remind you that you've been through storms and still stand. They tell you that your strength is not borrowed from circumstance but born from grace. Every mark on your soul is proof that heaven's hand held you through the flames. You will notice that certain people no longer recognize you. They speak to the person you used to be, unaware that she no longer lives there. Don't try to explain your transformation. Live it. Those meant to walk with the new you will find their way to your light. Those who can't handle your healing will fade. That is not arrogance, it is alignment. The rebuilding also restores your voice. What once trembled now carries authority. The same words you once whispered in desperation now become declarations of faith. You speak differently because you've seen too much to doubt. You've witnessed endings turn into beginnings and loss transform into wisdom. That perspective is the true gold refined from the fire. Chosen one. Your story is not defined by what broke, but by what was built afterward. Let your ruins remind you of resurrection. Let every fall point you to the one who always lifts. You are not just a survivor, you are a sign that grace rebuilds what life destroys. So walk forward gently but confidently. You don't need to rush. Heaven is still polishing your foundation. Trust the process that once hurt you. The potter has not finished. He is shaping beauty from the clay that once cracked in his hands. When he's done, the world will see a masterpiece not born of perfection, but of perseverance. There are wars that no one sees. Chosen one. Battles fought not with swords or fists, but with thoughts, whispers, and unseen forces that tug at your peace. You felt them in the still hours of the night, those invisible tensions, the sudden waves of heaviness for no apparent reason, the restlessness that stirs even when everything around you looks calm. That is not your imagination, it is the echo of a greater conflict. You live between two realms, the natural and the spiritual, and whether you realize it or not, your very existence carries weight in both. When you rise in prayer, darkness trembles. When you choose forgiveness over bitterness, light advances. Every decision you make is a declaration of allegiance in a war that has raged since the beginning of time. This war is not about winning arguments or conquering people, it's about protecting your soul. The enemy does not attack where you are weak, he attacks where you are chosen. That's why your thoughts have been a battlefield lately. He knows he cannot steal your calling, so he tries to steal your confidence. He cannot change your destiny, so he tries to cloud your discernment. But heaven has not left you defenseless. You have been armed with authority that no darkness can overrule. Every prayer you whisper pierces through layers of resistance. Every act of faith sends shockwaves through unseen territories. You are not just surviving, you are standing guard over divine ground. The territory of your mind, your peace, your future, it's sacred, and heaven trusts you to defend it. There are moments when the pressure intensifies, and you wonder why everything seems to happen at once. Why confusion, fear, and exhaustion seem to conspire against you. But understand this: attacks increase when breakthrough is near. Darkness senses when light is about to expand, and it throws everything it can to distract and discourage you. If you are feeling this pressure, it is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of progress. The Apostle reminds us with piercing clarity, as written in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." These words uncover what most people never see. Your struggle is not with people, it's with forces that manipulate fear, pride, and confusion to keep you from realizing who you are. The moment you recognize this truth, you stop fighting symptoms and start confronting roots. You stop reacting to faces and start rebuking spirits. You have been given weapons that the world cannot understand: faith, prayer, worship, and the Word. Each one carries power to dismantle strongholds. When you speak truth, lies lose ground. When you worship in pain, chains break. When you declare peace over your mind, anxiety begins to retreat. You carry light. And light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. And darkness must flee. Do not be intimidated by warfare. Soldiers are never frightened by battle, they are trained for it. Every trial you've faced has been basic training for spiritual victory. You've learned endurance through sorrow, discernment through deception, and authority through adversity. The things that once made you tremble now bow before you because you know whose armor you wear. Still, remember, this strength in the Spirit is not loudness, it is steadiness. True authority is not about shouting prayers, it's about walking in peace when chaos surrounds you. The enemy panics when you remain calm because it proves he has lost control. Every time you choose stillness over panic, forgiveness over revenge, obedience over impulse, you win another unseen battle. Sometimes the war within feels heavier than any external fight. You question your faith, your worth, your progress. But even in that struggle, grace stands beside you. The fact that you're still fighting means you haven't surrendered to darkness. Victory is not always loud, it's often quiet persistence. And though you may feel weary, heaven fights beside you. Angels stand guard over the paths you cannot see. When you speak the name of Jesus, every force opposing you must bow. The authority of light is final. No power of darkness can overrule it. You are not a victim of spiritual warfare. You are a victor through divine partnership. Chosen one. Never forget that peace itself is a weapon. It disarms the enemy's chaos. The calm in your heart is more powerful than any storm outside you. When you walk in awareness of this truth, battles that once felt overwhelming become opportunities to reveal glory. So, stand firm. Lift your head. The war may rage, but the outcome has already been written. Light wins, always. And because you belong to the light, so do you. Light has always frightened darkness. Chosen one, it does not need to shout, argue, or prove itself. It only needs to shine. And you, whether you realize it or not, have become a bearer of that light. It radiates through your words, your choices, your presence. It unsettles the unseen. It exposes the lies that once hid in shadows. The darkness recognizes you, even when you forget who you are. That is why resistance has increased. That is why certain environments feel heavier than before. You are no longer blending in, you are breaking through. There is a power that comes with knowing who you carry. You have walked through valleys of fear and doubt, yet your spirit kept its flame alive. That flame, small as it seemed in your weakest moments, has now become a torch. It terrifies the forces that once sought to silence you. You may not feel powerful, but the heavens see differently. Every time you choose truth over compromise, every time you forgive instead of retaliate, light expands through you. Darkness does not fear perfection, it fears persistence. It fears the one who refuses to give up. And you have refused. When storms rose, you didn't surrender. When shadows whispered lies, you answered with faith. The same endurance that once looked like pain has become your authority. You stand now not as a victim of your past, but as a vessel of divine fire. There is a reason the warfare around you intensified after you began to heal. The enemy fears restored people, because restored people restore others. You have become a threat to everything that once held you bound. That's why the enemy tries to exhaust you, not to destroy your body, but to dim your awareness. But the light within you cannot be extinguished, because it is not your light, it is his. As written in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That verse is not just ancient truth, it is your reality. You are walking, breathing evidence of divine light prevailing over despair. You carry illumination that no opposition can snuff out. You have survived things that should have shattered you, and yet here you are shining. When your presence disrupts atmospheres, don't apologize for it. You are not being too much. You are simply carrying what heaven entrusted to you. Light is confrontational by nature. It cannot exist without revealing what hides in shadows. Your joy will irritate the bitter. Your peace will confuse the restless. Your progress will offend the stagnant. But don't dim yourself to make others comfortable. You were designed to disturb the darkness. There will be rooms that feel uneasy when you enter, conversations that suddenly shift tone, faces that turn away for no reason. Don't take it personally. Light always exposes what pretends to hide. Your spirit announces what your words never have to. The fire in you speaks a language the enemy understands too well, defeat. And though you may grow weary of being misunderstood, remember, this rejection by darkness is confirmation of alignment with light. Every opposition is a compliment in disguise. The resistance you feel is proof that you're standing in divine placement. The more darkness pushes, the brighter you'll shine. Chosen one. You were not called to blend into shadows, but to command them to move. Your presence alone shifts the spiritual climate. You don't have to fight the way you used to. You only have to stand. The very act of being who you are now, a carrier of light, is warfare. The enemy's greatest weapon is distraction, not destruction. If he can't defeat you, he'll try to make you doubt your own brightness. But don't let him. Guard your flame. Protect your peace. Keep your eyes fixed on the one who lit the fire inside you. The light you carry is holy. It is ancient, eternal, indestructible. You may tremble, but your flame will not go out. And when you walk through dark places, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, remember this truth. Darkness cannot invade light. Light invades darkness. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the atmosphere changer. You bring heaven wherever you stand. So, if this message resonates in your spirit, if you feel the warmth of recognition burning inside you, the sense that you have been fighting unseen battles because of what you carry, then respond in faith. Let heaven know that you hear and agree with this truth. Type "I carry light" in the comments below. 3 words that break silence. 3 words that seal your awareness. When you declare it, you're not just affirming identity, you're activating authority. You are telling every shadow that it cannot touch what has already been claimed by heaven. You're announcing to the world and to yourself that the light within you is rising and it will not be dimmed again. The night may grow darker, but your flame is stronger, and soon that flame will not just guide you, it will ignite others. The fire spreads through those bold enough to believe they are chosen to shine. There comes a moment, chosen one, when you realize you were never meant to walk where paths already exist. You were meant to create them. The calling on your life is not one of imitation, but of innovation. You are not a follower of trends. You are a forerunner of truth. Heaven chose you to go where few have gone, to carry light into territories long forgotten, to be the first torch in a forest that others feared to enter. It's a lonely road sometimes, this calling to pioneer, while others find comfort in familiarity. You are called into mystery. You're the one who must cross rivers before bridges are built, who must believe before proof appears. But this is the mark of a forerunner, to see what is invisible and move when others stand still. You've always sensed that your steps mattered beyond yourself, that your journey wasn't just for you. That's because it isn't. You are the spark for a generation waiting in shadows. As written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 3, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight paths for him. That verse was once a cry in the wilderness, and now it becomes a mantle resting upon your shoulders. To prepare the way means to clear clutter, to level rough ground, to carve direction through chaos. It means living with vision when the world is content with routine. You have been given sight to see what's possible, courage to move when no one applauds, and endurance to keep going when the path grows hard. Every obstacle you faced wasn't random, it was terrain training. Every rejection toughened your resolve. Every delay sharpened your discernment. You've learned how to move through wilderness seasons without losing wonder. That skill will be vital, for pioneers often walk ahead of understanding. The world rarely celebrates trailblazers while they're still blazing. It waits until the path is safe to walk. But by then, you'll already be miles ahead, building bridges for those who come after. Sometimes your journey will feel like rowing against the current. The river of comfort flows one way, but destiny pulls you another. The waters will resist at first, but as you keep rowing, you'll discover a rhythm that feels divine, a harmony between effort and grace. That rhythm is faith. It's what keeps pioneers moving when logic says stop. You may not realize it, but you've already begun to change atmospheres. Your words have carried healing into places of hurt. Your perseverance has inspired people silently watching from the background. You're already leading without trying to lead. The light that flows through you naturally illuminates others. And that is the essence of your mantle. You carry transformation simply by being who you are. The call to pioneer is not just about forging paths in the spiritual, it's also about building connections here on earth. Every voice that rises in alignment with truth strengthens the movement. Every hand that reaches out, every act of kindness, every shared word, these are the tools with which heaven builds its highways. And so, as this message reaches your heart, I want to speak to you not as a distant voice, but as someone walking this same path of obedience. These messages are more than words, they're bridges. Bridges for souls searching for hope, direction, and purpose. When you listen, when you share, when you engage, you help extend that bridge to another weary traveler. Your simple action can be a torch passed forward. When you like, It tells the algorithmic winds to carry the message further. When you share, you're placing a lantern on someone else's path. When you subscribe, you're joining a community of torchbearers who keep the fire alive. And when you donate, no matter how small the seed, you become part of the building itself. You're not just supporting words, you're fueling waves of light that reach hearts on the edge of giving up. Think of it as tending a lighthouse. The storm is fierce, but the light must keep shining. Each person who contributes by action, by generosity, by prayer is adding oil to the flame. And that light has guided countless souls home. Chosen one, your obedience doesn't end with receiving, it expands through giving. You are part of a divine chain of impact, each link connected by love and intention, whether through time, prayer, or support. Your participation strengthens the message heaven is broadcasting through this very moment. So, keep walking, keep shining, and keep building. The wilderness you're crossing today will soon become a road for others tomorrow. The words you carry, the fire you nurture, will blaze trails that outlast you. You are the forerunner, the one sent ahead, not for fame, but for faithfulness. Let your every step declare this truth: the path exists because you believed enough to walk it first. Faith is not proven in sunlight. Chosen one, it's proven in the fire. When everything stable begins to shake, when the prayers take longer than expected, when silence lingers longer than your patience there, in that hidden furnace, true faith is forged. You've walked through this, haven't you? The moments that felt endless, the nights that demanded tears you didn't have left, the mornings where hope felt like a stranger, yet you stood, maybe trembling, maybe exhausted, but still standing. That is the quiet strength of one who has been tested and not found wanting. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to trust even when fear screams the loudest. And you, chosen one, have done that repeatedly. Every time you decided to keep believing when everything around you fell apart, heaven took notice. The tests you've endured were not designed to destroy you, but to define you. When gold enters fire, it does not panic, it understands its purpose. The flames reveal what was always within it. The same is true for your soul. The trials that tried to break you revealed the truth of who you are. You've discovered a faith that doesn't rely on outcomes, a strength that doesn't depend on circumstances. The world looks for proof. Heaven looks for persistence. You've given heaven both. There's something sacred about enduring what others would have escaped. You've learned that faith is not always loud, it's often silent and steady. Sometimes faith looks like waking up and trying again. Sometimes it's choosing gratitude when everything screams grief. Sometimes it's whispering, "I still believe," when nothing seems believable. Each of those moments was a victory written in heaven's record of your life. The apostle wrote words that have traveled across centuries and still burn with truth. As recorded in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 13, the fire will test the quality of each person's work. Those words are not punishment, they are promise. The fire reveals. It does not destroy. It burns away imitation so that authenticity can shine. The heat you felt was not hell's fury, it was heaven's refinement. And now, standing on the other side, you carry a glow that only those who've survived fire possess. You have become flame-tempered, stronger, wiser, radiant. The testing of your faith was never about proving God's existence, it was about proving yours. Trials do not change God, they change you. They carve conviction into your spirit. They strip away the unnecessary until what remains is indestructible. You are learning that faith is not a feeling, but a decision made daily, even when feelings disappear. When the flames surrounded you, you thought you were alone. But the fire revealed a presence you couldn't see before. Like the fourth man who appeared in the furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, God walked with you through your own blaze. Every time you thought you couldn't survive, His grace carried you one step further. Every tear became fuel for transformation, and though it burned, something beautiful happened. You became fireproof. Now, the same heat that once terrified you no longer controls you. You can walk through storms with steady steps because you've already learned the language of endurance. You no longer panic when the pressure rises, because you know it's just heaven polishing what it plans to display. Faith tested by fire becomes fearless. It stops negotiating obedience. It no longer demands signs or certainty, it simply trusts. That's what your journey has been building toward: unshakable faith. You've learned to trust God, not because He always delivers what you want, but because He never fails to deliver what you need. And though the scars remain, they are not reminders of pain, they are proof of purpose. You've learned how to see beauty where ashes once were, how to hear wisdom in what used to sound like silence. You've realized that fire does not only burn, it also clarifies. It makes you see what truly matters. Chosen one. The fire has done its work. The person emerging from the flames is not the same one who entered. Your prayers now carry weight. Your words now carry authority. You can speak peace into storms because you've survived them. You can lift others because you know how it feels to fall and rise again. You can recognize truth because you've seen lies melt in the heat of testing. You no longer worship for blessings, you worship because you've seen His faithfulness in the furnace. The intimacy born in the fire cannot be learned in comfort. It is raw, pure, and eternal. The flames did not just refine your faith, they deepened your relationship with the one who never left your side. And now, when you look back, you will understand that the fire was not your enemy. It was your anointing. The testing was never punishment, it was preparation. The gold of your spirit gleams brighter now, and that light will guide others still trapped in their own infernos. Let your testimony be this: the fire did not consume me, it completed me. You have graduated from survival into significance. The ashes you once wept over are now the soil of something new, something holy, something lasting. Chosen one. Walk forward with that quiet confidence. The same God who led you into the fire has led you out stronger. You are proof that what passes through the flames emerges purified, not destroyed. Your faith has been tested, and it has endured. There comes a divine moment. Chosen one, when everything shifts not slowly, but suddenly. It's as if heaven turns a key, and what was locked begins to open. You can sense it now, can't you? That stirring deep within. That awareness that something invisible is aligning on your behalf. This is not your imagination, it's your prophetic turning point. The long night of waiting is giving way to morning. For years, you've carried promises that seem to sleep. You've spoken faith into the air while silence answered back. You've planted seeds that vanished beneath the soil. Yet, even when nothing seemed to grow, Something was happening underground. Roots were forming. Foundations were strengthening. Timing was aligning. The unseen world was preparing for your unveiling. And now, heaven whispers, it's time. You feel it in your spirit before you see it with your eyes. The shift doesn't begin outside, it begins within. The moment you stop doubting the promise and start walking like it's already yours. Heaven responds. Destiny doesn't wait for perfection, it waits for readiness. You are stepping into a season where what was prophesied will manifest. Old cycles are closing. Delays are dissolving. The chains of uncertainty that once held you back are being shattered even now. The patterns of confusion that haunted you are breaking apart in the presence of clarity. You are no longer who you are who you were always meant to be. The prophet once declared this truth for generations yet to come, as recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? That declaration still breathes life into the weary. Do you not perceive it? Those words are heaven's invitation to awareness. The shift begins when you recognize it. The new thing doesn't start when others applaud. It starts when your spirit says, yes. God is doing something fresh in you. Something so divine that even your enemies will have to admit it was the Lord's doing. You've walked through years that felt like winter, silent, cold, and barren. But within that season, heaven was writing blueprints for spring. The same ground that once held your tears will now produce your testimony. The same doors that slammed shut will open so widely that you'll barely recognize the life waiting on the other side. Change is never comfortable because it requires release. To step into the new, you must let go of what once was. Some people, habits, and even mindsets can't go with you where you're headed. Not because they were evil, but because they were seasonal. When God moves you forward, He also edits your circle. What feels like loss is actually alignment. Chosen one. This is the moment to respond with faith, not fear. Heaven is inviting you to trust what you cannot yet see. The shift will not require striving, it will require surrender. Let go of your timeline, embrace His. The acceleration that's coming will make sense only in hindsight. What took years to build will transform in days. Doors that refuse to move will swing open effortlessly. You won't need to knock this time, they'll open at your arrival. Your turning point will not just bless you, it will ripple outward. The favor resting on your life will awaken dormant dreams in others. You are becoming a sign of what God can do with someone who refused to give up. Your breakthrough will speak louder than your explanations ever could. It's okay if you still feel unprepared. Every great move of God begins with someone who says, I'm not ready, and yet steps forward anyway. You don't need to have it all figured out, you just need to move. The Red Sea didn't part until Moses stepped forward. Jericho's walls didn't fall until the people shouted, Your miracle is waiting on your motion. This is not coincidence, it's convergence. The lines of destiny, timing, and obedience have met in this moment. Heaven's calendar has reached your name. You have entered divine timing, and no human delay can rewrite it. So, if this word is resonating deep in your spirit, if you can feel that quiet confirmation that the shift you've been praying for is here, then let heaven see your agreement. Type 555 inches, the comments below. This number represents divine transition, heavenly movement, and grace for the new season. When you type it, you're not just responding, you're participating. It's a prophetic act, a symbol of faith that says, I perceive it, I receive it, I'm ready. Because you are, the waiting season has completed its work. The fire has purified, the silence has trained, and now the door stands open. Step through it with courage. The new thing has already begun. Obedience is not the language of comfort. Chosen one, it is the language of covenant. Every great move of God in history has been written by the hands of those who dared to obey when it made no sense. You are one of them. Heaven has been calling you deeper, not just to believe, but to obey, because belief acknowledges who He is, but obedience proves that you belong to Him. There is a sacred power in surrender. It's not weakness, it's warfare. To the world, surrender looks like defeat, but in the kingdom, it is victory in its purest form. Each time you let go of control, you make room for divine order. Each time you choose His will over your own, heaven moves on your behalf. You are not losing by obeying, you are being positioned for miracles that disobedience could never touch. Still, obedience costs something. It always has. It will ask for the things closest to your heart, the very dreams you've clung to for security. It will test whether your loyalty is to the promise or to the promiser. Sometimes God will tell you to walk away from what feels stable, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to free you. It takes faith to believe that His no can be better than your yes. There were moments you felt torn between your desire and His direction. The tension between what you want and what heaven asks is the birthplace of trust. In those moments, your obedience becomes sacred. Incense, it rises as worship more powerful than 1,000 songs. The angels recognize that sound. It's the music of surrender. You are not being called to blind obedience, but to trusting obedience. God does not demand allegiance like a tyrant. He invites partnership like a father. His commands are not restrictions, they are protections. What He asks you to release is only what would have broken you later. Every act of obedience is a seed planted in faith that will bloom in time, even if you can't yet see the harvest. The prophet once spoke with the authority of heaven, revealing a timeless truth. As written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 19, "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land." Obedience will often look foolish before it looks fruitful. Noah built an ark before rain existed. Abraham left his home without knowing his destination. Mary said yes before understanding the cost. Each of them had one thing in common: they trusted that obedience was never wasted. And now, so do you. God's instructions may not always come with explanations, but they always come with intention. Every step of obedience creates momentum. You won't always feel ready. You simply need to be responsive. Heaven does not look for perfect vessels, only willing ones. You are one of those vessels molded not by ease but by yielding. Sometimes obedience is silent. It doesn't shout its sacrifice or seek validation. It simply does what God says, trusting that the unseen reward outweighs the visible risk. You will know you're growing when you stop needing confirmation to obey, when you can move at His whisper instead of His warning. You've entered maturity. That's where you are now, the point where faith becomes instinct. You've discovered that obedience is not a single moment but a lifestyle. It's found in the daily choices: how you speak, how you love, how you forgive. It's in the humility to apologize, the strength to walk away, the grace to wait. Obedience is the thread that ties every season of your story together. When the world sees chaos, heaven sees consistency. And though obedience sometimes costs relationships, opportunities, or comfort, it always multiplies in return. God never asks for something without preparing something greater in exchange. What you lay down in tears will rise again in glory. The altar you build through obedience becomes the stage for divine revelation. Chosen one. The call to obey is not a burden, it's an invitation into partnership with the Creator of the universe. He doesn't just want your compliance, He desires your collaboration. He is shaping you to carry influence with integrity, authority with humility, and power with purity. Every yes you give reshapes eternity in ways you cannot yet imagine. There will come a day when you look back and realize how every act of obedience wove threads of gold through your life's tapestry. The seasons that felt costly will shine the brightest, because they are where trust became tangible. You will understand that obedience was never about restriction, it was about release. Keep walking in that sacred rhythm of surrender, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain. Heaven is never late in rewarding those who obey in faith. You may not see the full picture now, but every step of obedience is leading you straight into promise. And when the world marvels at your peace, when people ask how you made it through storms unbroken, you'll smile softly, knowing the truth, obedience was your anchor, and anchors, though unseen beneath the waves, are what keep ships from drifting when the winds rage. You were never meant to walk this path alone. Chosen one. For every solitary season, for every hour you wondered if anyone else could understand your fire, there were others hidden, scattered, waiting for the same call that you have now heard. Heaven never raises one voice without preparing an echo. You are part of something greater, a remnant. The rise of the remnant is quiet at first. It does not begin with headlines or applause, but with hunger. It begins with individuals like you who cannot tolerate the counterfeit any longer, who crave truth more than comfort, who would rather stand alone in light than blend in with the darkness of compromise. These are not the famous or the flawless, they are the faithful. Heaven gathers them not by location, but by alignment. This remnant does not compete, it completes. It's made of souls who have walked through the fire and come out refined, not bitter. They recognize one another, not by status, but by spirit. When they meet, even briefly, something electric stirs between them, a divine familiarity, as though they've known each other for lifetimes. In reality, their spirits have always been connected, woven together before the foundations of the world. You've likely felt it already, that unexplainable sense of recognition when encountering someone whose eyes carry the same light, the same holy ache for something real. That's not coincidence. That's divine kinship. The remnant finds each other through resonance. They don't need long introductions, they simply know. The prophet described it long ago in words that still ring with power. As written in the book of Micah, chapter 5, verse 8, "The remnant of Jacob will be among the nations, like a lion among the beasts of the forest." That verse paints a vivid picture of the remnant's strength. Lions move quietly, but with undeniable authority. They do not seek validation, they simply are. So it is with you and those rising beside you. The remnant is not large in number, but mighty in presence. They are the ones who carry truth without fear. who walk into chaos and bring order, who refuse to bow to systems that have forgotten holiness. This generation's remnant has been forged in adversity. They are the misunderstood, the misjudged, the ones who never quite fit in because their design was not meant for conformity but for confrontation with darkness, with deception, with complacency. They are heaven's countermeasure to a world drowning in distraction. Their very existence challenges the apathy of the age. You are part of that company. You've walked through isolation not as punishment, but as preparation. Heaven had to strip you of dependency on approval so that you could stand firm when the world wavers. You were taught to pray in secret so that your voice could carry power in public. You were trained in hiddenness so that when the time came, your authenticity could not be shaken by fame or fear. The remnant does not gather for entertainment, they gather for empowerment. When they come together, even in silence, the atmosphere shifts. There's a unity among them that transcends background, culture, and language. Their hearts beat to the same rhythm, the rhythm of redemption. They carry an ancient fire, one that cannot be manufactured by emotion or extinguished by opposition. Their rise is not noisy but undeniable. They move with strategy, guided by the Spirit, dismantling darkness wherever they go. Some influence from pulpits, others from classrooms, studios, or boardrooms. Their assignments vary, but their purpose is one to illuminate. They are carriers of both mercy and might. They don't just preach light, they embody it. Chosen one. When you look around and wonder why the world feels darker, remember this truth: the darker the sky, the more visible the stars. The remnant shines most clearly when hope seems dimmest. And though you may not see them all at once, they are rising quietly, steadily, with a resolve that shakes foundations. You are not an isolated flame, you are part of a constellation. When the remnant moves as one, transformation follows. Old systems collapse, new wineskins form. The complacent are stirred, and the broken find belonging. The light that once flickered in individuals becomes a blazing movement. It's happening now. Heaven is mobilizing the faithful. You may never know all their names, but you'll feel their presence across the earth, voices crying out for justice, hands healing the wounded, hearts restoring honor to what was once corrupted. Their rise is the answer to generations of prayer. And you, chosen one, are not a spectator in this uprising. You are one of its pillars. The remnant stands because you chose to stand. They rise because you refused to bow. The very fire that sustained you in solitude is the fire that will unite you in strength. So lift your head. Look beyond the immediate horizon. The scattered lights are gathering. The silent ones are finding their voices. The weary are remembering why they were called. The remnant is not coming, they are already here. And together, they will move mountains. There is always a trembling before the glory. Chosen one, before dawn splits the horizon, the earth holds its breath. Before the harvest bursts through the soil, the ground quakes beneath pressure. And before God releases the full weight of His promise, everything around you begins to shake. You may be in that season now, the shaking before the revealing. It feels unstable, doesn't it? The structures that once held you now shift beneath your feet. Familiar things feel foreign. What used to make sense suddenly doesn't. Yet this is not chaos, it is calibration. Heaven shakes what cannot remain, so that what must remain will stand unshakable. The shaking is not against you, it is for you. It's heaven's way of removing what can no longer accompany your next elevation. The world around you might call this collapse, but heaven calls it cleansing. The trembling you feel is the sound of foundations being tested, not to destroy you, but to anchor you deeper. The tree must be shaken before fruit can fall. Likewise, the shaking in your life is heaven's hand releasing what's ripe and ready. As written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 26, "Once more I will shake not only the earth but also the heavens." That verse reveals a divine principle. Shaking precedes showing. When God moves, everything that's not anchored in Him trembles. Every false support, every counterfeit comfort, every fragile foundation, it all falls away. But in that very shaking, truth rises. The eternal remains. If your life feels unstable, take heart. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. What looks like loss is often liberation. The shaking exposes attachments that were never meant to stay. Heaven removes not to empty you, but to make space for overflow. In this sacred tension between collapse and creation, your faith becomes the bridge. When everything else trembles, faith holds steady. You've learned this, haven't you? The art of stillness in storms, the discipline of peace in pressure. That calm you carry isn't denial, it's discernment. You've seen enough shaking to know that after every tremor comes transformation. Look back on your journey each time life was shaken. Something holy emerged from the dust. When relationships fell away, you discovered independence. When resources dried up, you uncovered creativity. When silence stretched, you learned to hear whispers. Every shaking has shaped you into something more resilient, more refined, more radiant. This is not punishment, it's promotion. The shaking always comes right before the shift. Heaven never rearranges your life to leave you lesser. He shakes you to separate the precious from the temporary. You are not being reduced, you are being revealed. And though the world may quake, your spirit is grounded. You are learning to dance on unsteady ground, to move with grace even as the earth trembles. That's the mark of one who's rooted in eternity. You've stopped fearing instability because you've discovered that your foundation is not earthly, it's divine. This message, this moment, is a reminder to hold fast. When the shaking intensifies, don't run from it, lean into it. Let it teach you what cannot be taken. Let it reveal the solid core of your faith. You'll find that peace is not the absence of shaking, but the presence of God within it. Chosen one, allow me to speak from the heart. Messages like these words, birthed in prayer and poured from heaven's flame, are like torches passed in a dark night. They burn because people like you keep the fire alive. Every time you light, you add oxygen to that flame. Every time you share, you extend the light to someone wandering in shadows. When you subscribe, you're joining a family of fire bearers, a global remnant, standing together in hope and truth. And when you donate, no matter the size, you're not just giving, you're sowing into soil that feeds souls. You're helping keep the lamps lit, ensuring that no heart walks alone in darkness. Each offering is like oil poured into the lamp of the message, fuel for light that continues long after this moment ends. Think of this space as a sanctuary in the storm, a lighthouse on a restless sea. Every gesture of engagement, every comment, every prayer, Every seed is part of building that lighthouse higher. It's how we keep the flame reaching farther, shining into places algorithms cannot touch and words alone cannot reach. So, as you reflect on what you've just heard, let the shaking settle inside of you. Let peace fill the cracks where fear once lived. Remember, the shaking is not the end, it is the sound of new beginnings forming beneath your feet. And if this word has met you in that trembling space, if you can feel heaven confirming that your current chaos is preparation for greater clarity, leave your mark below. Speak life into the storm. Comment, "I stand firm." These 3 words declare faith in motion. They're not just a phrase, they're a proclamation that you will not be moved by what shakes, because you are rooted in the unshakable. Stay steady. Beloved, the shaking will pass, but the glory that follows will remain. There is a moment when the heavens fall silent. Chosen one, not in absence, but in reverence. It's the moment right before recognition, before reward, before the crown is placed upon the one who has endured the weight of obedience. You have come to that threshold. You have walked through fire, through famine, through loneliness and light. And now, heaven begins to unveil what it always saw in you. The crowning is not an event, it's an awakening. For so long, you were hidden, refined, and misunderstood. The world could not yet see what God was shaping beneath the surface. You were being prepared in private for what will soon be revealed in public. And when heaven reveals, it is never small. It does not whisper what it intends to proclaim. When God crowns a soul, He does so in a way that even those who doubted you are compelled to acknowledge His hand upon your life. This moment is not about pride, it's about purpose. The crown you receive is not made of gold, but of glory. It's not worn to display status, but to demonstrate surrender. Every scar, every tear, every act of quiet faithfulness has woven itself into the band of that divine crown. You wear it not as decoration, but as testimony, as written in the 2nd letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness." That promise belongs to those who endure, to those who refuse to let the fire redefine their faith. And now, you understand, endurance was never about surviving hardship. It was about proving your devotion to the one who called you. Every time you stayed faithful when you could have walked away, you added another jewel to that unseen crown. Every time you chose love over vengeance, humility over pride, prayer over panic, heaven took note. The crowning of the chosen is not about recognition from man, but from God. It's heaven's way of saying, "I saw it all. I was there when no one clapped. I counted every hidden act of obedience." The moment of recognition is not merely reward, it's restoration. Everything that seemed lost in past seasons returns, multiplied and purified. What once mocked you will now marvel at you, not because of who you are, but because of who He is through you. This is the season where what was internal becomes visible. The authority you've carried quietly will now be seen openly. Your words will carry new weight. Your presence will shift rooms. It's not that you're suddenly different, it's that heaven's timing has caught up with your preparation. The world will finally see the radiance that has long burned within. But with the crown comes responsibility. To be crowned by heaven means to carry influence without corruption. It means leading without domination, shining without overshadowing others. True crowns are heavy, not because they glitter, but because they represent stewardship. Heaven crowns those it can trust to serve while shining. You will feel the weight of that crown in new ways. People will begin to look to you for guidance, for comfort, for courage. They will see in you what they have not yet found in themselves. This is not to inflate your pride, but to ignite your purpose. You have been raised not for self-glory, but for divine representation. The crown reminds you daily that your victories were never your own, they were always His. The crowning also comes with clarity. You begin to see that nothing was wasted, not the pain, not the delay, not the silence. Every season, every trial, every why has become part of your wisdom. You are now able to see the pattern heaven was weaving all along. What once felt random now reveals divine design. The journey makes sense in retrospect, and gratitude replaces regret. Yet even as glory settles on you, humility must remain your posture. A true crown is safest on a bowed head. You'll find that the more heaven honors you, the more your heart longs to stay hidden in Him. You will not seek stages, yet stages will seek you. You will not chase influence, yet influence will follow you naturally. The light of your obedience will attract opportunities ordained long ago. When the crown rests, it does not make you superior, it makes you secure. You no longer strive for validation because you've already been vindicated by grace. You no longer chase favor because favor now flows through you. The crown is both the symbol of completion and the start of new commission. Chosen one, you have reached the point where survival ends and stewardship begins. You've proven your faithfulness in obscurity. Now heaven entrusts you with visibility. Walk with reverence, lead with compassion, and never forget what the crown cost. You did not earn it through perfection, you received it through perseverance. Lift your head gently, not arrogantly. Let the world see the reflection of the King who placed that crown upon you. For it is not a mark of conquest, but of calling, a sign that you have finished one chapter faithfully and are ready to begin another in fullness. The fire tested you, but the crown will tell your story. You have been weighed, refined, and found radiant. Heaven smiles upon you now, not because you are flawless, but because you remained faithful. And that is what the crown of righteousness truly means, glory that belongs not to the victor, but to the vessel who never stopped believing. There is a stillness that comes after the storm. Chosen one, a holy calm that feels almost unreal after years of turbulence. You've walked through fire and flood, through wilderness and waiting, and now, for the first time, you can breathe without bracing for impact. This stillness is not emptiness, it is completion. Heaven does not leave you wandering after warfare. When the battle ends, a commission begins. You are no longer being formed, you are being sent. You can feel it in the air around you. Something has shifted. The noise has quieted. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Your heart no longer reacts to chaos the way it once did. The fears that once shook, you have lost their voice. You are steady now, anchored not in circumstance but in calling. What once intimidated you now feels small, not because it grew weaker, but because you grew wiser. This peace is not passive, it's powerful. It is the kind of peace that rules, not retreats. It's the authority of one who has been through storms and discovered that peace was not on the other side of the battle, it was within them all along. You carry that now, the unshakable calm of one who knows who they are and whose they are. The eternal commission flows from that place of assurance. For this is not the end of your journey, but the unveiling of your mission. You have been called, refined, and crowned not to remain in safety, but to step into service. The world you once escaped from is now the field you are meant to impact. Every lesson you learned in silence is now a message for others still trapped in noise. Every scar that once made you self-conscious is now your credential of compassion. The command spoken long ago still echoes across the ages, as written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 19. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. That charge is not limited to preachers or prophets. It belongs to every soul transformed by grace. You are being sent not to perform, but to be. You are the message now, the way you forgive, the way you speak truth gently, the way you walk in integrity even when unseen. All of it preaches louder than words ever could. You may wonder how one person could possibly change the world. But the commission was never about quantity. It was always about quality. God doesn't count followers. He multiplies faithfulness. The light you carry is not small because it shines in only one life. It is eternal because it multiplies in every heart it touches. The fire you keep burning will ignite others, neighbors, strangers, nations. The eternal commission begins not with grand gestures, but with small obediences. It's in the conversation where you choose compassion over judgment. It's in the decision to create beauty where bitterness once ruled. It's in the willingness to speak peace into places saturated with despair. Every act of kindness becomes a seed of divine influence. Heaven never calls without equipping. Everything you've endured was training. Every wilderness taught you how to navigate silence. Every heartbreak trained you to carry empathy. Every triumph taught you to hold joy without pride. These are not random skills, they are tools of transformation. You've been entrusted with authority, not for dominance, but for healing. The world is starved for authenticity, and that is exactly what you carry. You don't need to shout to be heard. Truth always finds its way. Move quietly, but carry deeply. Speak softly, but let your words bear weight. The eternal commission is not about noise, it's about resonance. When your spirit moves in alignment with heaven, even your presence becomes prophetic. You will find that doors open effortlessly now, not because of luck, but because of legacy. You are walking paths prepared long before your birth. Favor will follow you not because you chase it, but because it recognizes you. The world may call it coincidence, but heaven calls it covenant. Everywhere you go, grace will leave footprints behind you. This season of sending will stretch you, but it will also fulfill you. You are no longer the seeker, you are the sender. You have become the answer to someone else's prayer. The living proof that divine timing is real. The same voice that once whispered comfort to you now speaks through you. The messenger has become the message. Carry this truth gently but boldly. You are heaven's ambassador in human form. You are a living temple, an echo of eternity, walking among temporary things. Every breath you take is sacred because it carries the rhythm of divine purpose. Chosen one, go forth with humility and holy fire. Let the peace within you spill into the world around you. Let the same light that once saved you now save others. You are not leaving the presence of God, you are carrying it wherever you go. The Eternal Commission does not end with this message. It begins with your next step. The world awaits the sound of your obedience. Heaven watches with joy. The story is not over. It has only just begun. Chosen one, take a deep breath. You have walked through every word of this divine journey, 17 steps of awakening, refinement, revelation, and commissioning. This is not merely a message, it is a mirror, showing you who you have always been in heaven's design. You are the living proof that light cannot be buried, that purpose cannot be postponed, and that destiny, no matter how delayed, always finds its voice again. As you reach the close of this message, know this: endings in the kingdom are never final, they are thresholds. Every sentence you've absorbed was a seed. Every truth that stirred your spirit was a call. You were never meant to leave this moment unchanged. The same anointing that met you here is now ready to move through you, to touch others, to awaken hearts still searching for meaning. If this journey has spoken to you, if something deep within you feels seen, strengthened, or set free, let that acknowledgement become your act of gratitude. Like this message to keep the light visible. Share it, not for attention, but for intention, because someone, somewhere, is waiting for the word that saved you today. Subscribe so you can walk with us as heaven continues to release revelation through these messages. And in the comments, leave your heart's reflection. Write what this message stirred in you, a single line, a declaration, or even a quiet amen. Every word written becomes part of the altar. We build together a digital sanctuary where light gathers, hope breathes, and faith multiplies. Your story is still being written. Your crown still shines, and heaven still whispers your name with love. Stay connected, stay steadfast, and keep shining, for the world is waiting for the light you now carry.